that we're trying to kind of introduce into the metaverse. So again, these are things we've been talking about for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
But just talking about it right through this format, podcasts, roundtables, discussions, community calls, all this stuff. And now we're finally putting it all on paper. So we're really excited about that. It's been like our focus over the last week or 2 weeks, maybe even longer than that. And we're going to roll it out probably publicly within, I don't know, a near soon time frame, right? Because we want everybody in the community to kind of, again, align with our mission statements. I don't know, like the vision of the platform,
yes,
which Rovi's plays a huge part of, right? Because Rovi's is going to be one of the proof of concepts of like an actual verse experience in the metaverse. So it's all interconnected, so it's going to be exciting to roll that out to you guys, get some feedback, and continue the discussions.
Yeah, and that's a good point that you bring up here, is because when we design Rovi, we're in tandem, building out the rest of the pieces for MetaZone, and ultimately we want people to contribute to the construction of the metaverse, whether it's Decentraland or the thousands that are going to be in existence. And the way to do that is by building tools. So one of the tools that we're using is called this MetaGen technology that Oscar designed, that allows you to generate permutations of a particular object. In this case, it's a battle bot, right? In other cases, could be a house or some other thing, right? Some other thing that has 100,000 permutations. And we do feel like the PFP kind of craze that's happening right now, there's going to be tiers to it. And one of the tiers is going to be like a gameplay mechanic, right? And it's another thing that's going to be, extremely sustainable, because it's pretty straightforward from a developer standpoint to come up with like 100,000 permutations based off of 10 unique designs. And I think that's a very scalable way to create game assets. So while building Rovi, we're building the tools to help others, create their own, gameplay, right, in the metaverse. So the next big thing that we have going on is the Meta NFT drop, right? That's going to happen for the Holo Meta. So this Holo Meta will allow you to show the Rovies on your land within Decentraland. And so this has big implications for the platform, because that it becomes a meta NFT. And when the hologram meta is a meta NFT, that means all the metas are going to be converted into NFTs. So that's a big step for us and the current community members who are holding a bunch of metas. And it's a big update for the platform itself, because now the platform recognizes these NFTs, and now it's sort of a little bit of different process to deploy. So it's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, Rovi's is the focus of this community call, right? And by the way, we're going to do a MetaZone community call. I'm not sure if you mentioned this before, but start scheduling more weekly calls for the broader creator community, not just for Rovi's, but the whole ecosystem. Because in case you didn't know, there's almost 300 meta creations like in existence on the platform that are deployable content, and now all of them are Rovi's. We have other verses. We've got independent creators who are just submitting different builds, houses, vehicles, just random things. That's the cool thing about Meta, right? It could be anything. It's an infinite scale of creation potential. So we got to get that going to, support the broader creator community as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, writing this white paper had me focus a little bit on more like what's been achieved up until this point on MetaZone. And it's pretty impressive. I think we have more than 2,000 landowners in the ecosystem.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's bonkers, dude. I know there's 90,000 parcels out there.
Yeah.
But 2,000, individual landowners, being active community members in this ecosystem is a big deal. I think it means we've successfully provided like a valuable service to landowners, right? And that was our initial goal, from the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see.
So with a show of hands, digital hands, how many
digital hands?
Yeah, digital hands. How many of you? This is the first time hearing about the Rovi project, and you don't know what the hell we're talking about. Yeah, I just want to see in the chat, whether on YouTube or on Discord. Third eye, thumbs down.
That's a digital thumb.
Swooty. Dang, that's crazy. All right. So it looks like seems like most people have heard of it.
So everyone here is a veteran at this point. Like there's this
Yeah.
There's no convincing needing to be done. In other words, everyone's here. Everyone supports the vision, so that's good.
Yeah. So it's funny. So a couple of things occurred earlier today. So the call. So in the United States, I don't know if you guys deal with daylight savings time, but it occurred over the weekend, and for some reason I had locked in my mind that it was always going to be at 1 p.m. Central Time, which is where we live. And with that daylight savings time, I thought the call would be at the same time, so I messed that up. But anyway, so there's that, and then there's something else. Yeah, I can't remember. But most importantly, I got a ton of DMs. Popeaholics Anonymous. This is your Pope Lord, Will, speaking here. And it looks like we're going to be distributing these popes via a very specific way, right? And we're going to be distributing again via the MetaZone bot. And that bot requires you to do a couple of things, right? And so those things are, you need to have a MetaZone account, right? That's pretty straightforward. Email, password, that's it. And then you need to visit the tower location, jump into the Corona Zombies game, and get an asset, right? Your assets look like this. Could be anything, right? Your asset will look like a crowbar, and it'll look like some food from Ethermon. Like, that's an asset, right? You can get it for free. And then you have to know the password to get this Pope. And the password is given during these calls, and that's it. It's pretty straightforward. And I get a ton of DMs from people all over the world who don't speak perfect English, which is totally fine, but they haven't done these steps. And if you haven't done these steps, you will not get a Pope. And that's it. What do you think, man?
Yeah, it's pretty wild, dude. A lot's happened since I've been gone, apparently.
Yeah, dude.
What was the main motivation behind this? It was the cartel, wasn't it? Like, well, I think.
Yeah. So a couple of things. So the Pope, the Pope team, they're aware of the cartel, and they were trying to figure out ways to prevent the cartel from spreading passwords or whatever. And so they basically they reduced the amount of popes that you can issue, right, for some people.
Yeah.
And then they killed the Pope, the good old Pope bot. They killed it, right? It no longer works. They have a different Pope bot now. So this is specifically designed to like stop the cartel from like spreading passwords and stuff. So now Oscar, over a couple like 24-hour period, he created his own bot, connected it to MetaZone's platform, and now you have to have specific NFTs or assets or whatever it is to actually get the Pope. But beyond that, like, we're just not going to DM popes anymore unless it's like very specific scenarios. So, okay. So let's jump in and actually issue the Pope now, so that way we can move on with this.
Okay, just a quick question. Like, so these frameworks that Oscar is developing or already delivered for the Pope system, it is improving our understanding as far as like who the actual real contributors or attendees are to all these things, right? Like we don't have to be so worried anymore about too many popes being in the hands of cartel
members,
actors. Is that true?
Yeah.
True or false, Will?
No, it's true. It's true. So, and then not only that, we want others to use the MetaZone bot as well. So it's going to be available for you guys to like deploy onto your Discord if it makes sense. If not, it's totally cool. Yeah. So,
okay, then we'll do like a little bit of like an assessment, I guess. Just go back in history. I'm not sure if that's necessary, but I think pretty soon, within a week or two, we should do our first official POAP giveaway. What do you think?
What? Do an official POAP giveaway right now?
Yeah. Well, not right now, but after like an assessment of making sure we have the POAPs in the hand.
100%. Yeah, we should do that.
Okay,
so
it's been decreed by me, I guess.
all
Just
right.
because, man, like I want to see these POAPs being used. You know what I mean?
Shit. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, sweetie. Let me. Can you turn off your notifications on your Discord?
Is that me?
I don't know if that's you, but
Hold on,
let's see
dude.
if that works.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. You guys are going crazy hearing all these pings.
At the top right, man, there's like a little bell icon. Just
Yeah.
you can mute that.
Okay.
Shit.
I mean, I hit the bell, but it's still coming through. I can mute Discord. Can I? Let's see.
Let me try something.
Currently watching Ready Player One while on this call.
Yeah.
That's legit.
You know what? I need to get the Snow Crash Audible, like audiobook. Because I haven't read that book in a while. It's been like a long time, but I need to listen to it.
Okay, sorry, lads. I think you're gonna have to deal with the Discord pings for now. If needed, I can just mute myself and then unmute when I have something to say.
No,
but
I don't think.
if it's that bad of a headache.
No, I don't think it's muting is gonna solve it. That's the thing.
No?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on, dude.
Yeah. All right, so let's get the Pope out right now. Okay, so let me type in the MetaZone bot. MetaZone. Okay, so you're gonna DM the bot the password, right? Just send him the password and not me. The password is RoviCall11, all lowercase, no spaces. And then let us know what you see. And you're probably gonna have to do it a couple of times because the server needs to wake up. And then yeah, that's correct. Anubis, RoviCall11,
all lowercase. Cool.
Sweetie, change your what's it called? Privacy settings. No dice. All right, keep trying, Juxon. Okay, it's not working. All right, let me ping,
no.
Let me ping Corv. It should work.
Is this the first week it was implemented?
No. We've used this 2 times already, I think.
Okay. All right, then it will be resolved, ladies and gents. Let's all collectively practice our patience drills, or whatever you want to call it. You know how like in school we had fire drills. This is a patient drill, dude.
Yeah.
Patience is a virtue, 100%, dude. But yeah, it will be resolved, just like anything, right? Anytime there's an error, this is probably something minor, usually is, but it will be solved. Corv is on the job.
Yeah,
I'm sure of it.
Yeah, Oscar, if once that's like set up, ping me and then I'll notify everybody. But okay, so now we kicked off the Pope. Good old Popeaholics out there can get their hit. So now going back.
So you mentioned earlier about a quick intro to like development status, right? Like a hologram being one of the base layer foundational metas just to get Rovi's deployable, right? Like actually in the metaverse. That's obviously a big deal in itself, but it has a lot of extrapolation implications, right? Like where do you go from there? Like once the Rovies are there, now we can start adding on more layers on top, which metas kind of like, more functionality to the gameverse, and these Rovies can start doing things, right?
Yes. Yeah, so let's talk about that, like the technical kind of implications for this. So we always talk about how MetaZone is a platform, and right now the platform service is mainly Decentraland. And what we want to do is we have a belief that Decentraland probably won't be the only metaverse out there. There's going to be hundreds, if not thousands, that are going to be spun up. And, there's already a few kind of in existence, right? So what we expect is from the platform that we will be able to deploy the same meta content to other metaverses. So, and excuse the little things there. But if once we can get the meta NFTs deployable in different metaverses, the whole idea is that these metas will be interoperable, right? And to do that, you need to be able to understand the limitations of the different metaverses. And you start with the game engines, right? Decentraland has a game engine called Unity, and it's a very watered down version of Unity because the Rovi Matrix is also using Unity, but it can run on the cell phone, right? So it has a different flavor of Unity. And then, of course, there's Unreal Engine, and there's a couple of other ones that are open source as well. So to be able to support all those game engines, you have to do a lot to the platform. And then not only that, like I said, with Unity, you can have a ton of flavors, and each flavor has its own limitations. So now when metaverses are spun up, we need to be able to understand what the framework of the limitations are, and then add that as support for MetaZone so that a creator comes in, let's say they want to make, a Rovi project, right? They come in, they see is like, okay, the MetaZone is connected to 10 different metaverses. And in the 10 different metaverses, it's like 3 different game engines. And so with those 3 different game engines, you get basically a breakdown of the limitations of each world, and then you just kind of build accordingly. And then from a single NFT, you can deploy to all of the 10 different metaverses. So now when we're talking about making these meta NFTs, then we're having to understand the deploy mechanics for each world, right? They're going to be a little bit different. They're not going to be that different because ultimately all these metaverses have the same underlying functional concept that people own the land. And if people own the land, they need some mechanism to deploy content, right? So it's relatively going to be the same. So so now when building out the Rovi kind of world and all the metas, we're taking all that into consideration and building out the platform accordingly. So that's why it takes a little bit longer than you would expect, but nonetheless, if you're jumping into Corona Zombies right now and you're playing the first person shooter in Decentraland, that is a little taste of the WebSocket server in action, right? And so you can have pretty high fidelity experiences in Decentraland, but a lot of the technology is already there. We're just piecing it all together, but at the same time building out the platform. Hopefully that makes some sense, right, Iman?
Yeah, totally. And I want to add on to that in a second, but first, let's revisit the POAP situation. I want to make sure So I've seen some people are getting their POAP, some people are still not. I guess type something in, guys, if you need more assistance. The community is obviously extremely helpful, and Oscar's in the chat as well. Just keep these inquiries going if you have issues, because we want to make sure everybody gets their POAP. But yeah, so kind of to what you're saying though, is another interesting internal tidbit of internal happenings is, I guess we're in a phase of our roadmap where now we've kind of already established half of the frameworks of the MetaZone ecosystem. We've proven that there's a need and a demand for digital content ownership within the metaverse, right? And that's kind of what we've been doing for the last couple of years by creating metas, allowing creators to make their own metas, building the marketplace for people to sell these metas and purchase them and then install them. So now we're at the phase of our roadmap where we're trying to apply these same principles and functionalities to outside metaverses. So we're having, as you know, because of the whole Zuckerberg effect, right? All of a sudden, there's a lot of developers out there attempting to build their own metaverse. They might not be so public yet, but they're at the very infant stages of metaverse creation. And we've been having conversations with some of these founders of how to integrate MetaZone into their ecosystem. And these conversations have been pretty positive. So, I mean, to me, I'm starting to envision, and like you mentioned, the cool thing about other metaverses is they're not the same thing, right? We've talked to a metaverse that's more focused on a higher fidelity experience. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Rovi ecosystem looks like deployed on a higher fidelity environment, right?
That's so true. Yeah.
Imagine like an Unreal 5 Roviverse, right?
Dude, hell yeah, man. That's
That's
jam.
kind of what I've been having that vision in my mind for a while now. But
yeah.
Obviously, a lot of pieces need to be, put in place before that transition. But the cool thing is through MetaZone, this is possible, right? Like where your Rovi assets are deployable in one dimension and another, right? So.
No, I totally agree. I mean, I think from a creator perspective, like this is I guess society is like really creator centric, and I think if we're able to support that like system, then we're gonna see metaverses that you wouldn't really imagine, right? And that's sort of what we expect from a metaverse, and I think on top of that, like the creators that we enable are like fundamentally going to create things like, Rovi or, anything else that you can kind of build in kind of your own image. So it's going to be interesting because once we start, onboarding like the Unreal 5 engine, and then it's going to be up to the creators to decide as like, well, my villa can look badass in Unreal Engine 5, so I can update my NFT to add, high resolution textures, make it a little bit more. Yeah, and then it makes the product more desirable, right? Now that you can deploy the same asset, right, the same NFT in the Unreal Engine 5 world, it's like more valuable, right? More utility. So that's kind of what we want to facilitate, and I think Rovi's in Unreal Engine 5 is going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's what's so, and like through these conversations with different metaverse founders, like it's clear each one has their own like ideologies, right? Their own beliefs and what the metaverse the metaverse experience should look and feel like, and because those things are important, right? The feel of interacting in a metaverse, right? Us Decentraland natives, we're kind of used to the whole web portal experience. So I mean, it's cool and it's immersive, but it's nothing close to like what the end game of a metaverse immersion experience will feel like. So there are projects out there who are directly going for that, the jugular in a sense. They're going for that. They're going for that 100% feel experience, right?
Yeah.
So
reality,
and that's like an alternate reality type experience, and it's interesting to think about. And Decentraland natives have been speculating about this since the beginning, right? Because I think in the original white paper there was a lot more emphasis on VR and stuff like that. But over time, there's a lot of development and like commercial hurdles to VR. It's just not too widely accepted yet as like a technology layer, but it's getting there. But this is all just to say that the fact that we can make these assets interoperable means we can experience all these different ideologies, whatever you want to call it, like at will. It's just on demand. If you want to feel a much more immersive virtual reality type experience, as long as it's this metaverse is connected, or the Roviverse is connected to this metaverse, you can do that. You can still achieve all the same goals as a player, but
Yeah, I hear you. And then thinking about this is like if we can build out a platform that allows the ability for creators to pretty much make whatever it is that they want in whatever world and limitations that they want, I think that's going to lend pretty well with like people who want to prefer to spend their time in one particular metaverse over another. Because if you think about it, it's like there was this tweet that I shared with iMan, I guess it was a couple of days ago, which I really agree with, and it really kind of shed some light on like what the metaverse actually is. And it's not a place; it's more like a metaverse is a point in time, and that point in time is where the value that we measure in our digital lives is valued more than in the physical world. And it's very similar to the AI singularity, where the AI becomes significantly more intelligent than like humanity. Like that's called the singularity. And, I think the metaverse has very similar kind of, an analogy to it. So and think about this, like the current generation and the newer generations right now, we spend so much time in the digital space, like social media, whatever. there's a lot more value that we seem to grasp from the digital space than it is in the physical space, because like you've seen like in people getting married in World of Warcraft, or like, it's doing these like weird things that you wouldn't expect, but I think that's going to become the norm. Like a lot more of that weirdness is going to be happening now that we can actually own these digital stuff, right? So it's I think ultimately it's like facilitating and like enabling all this stuff is what's going to create this craziness. So that's what's really exciting.
Yeah, so strap in, everybody. You guys are in the ride with us, dude. It's like we keep re-emphasizing this over and over again. It's just, dude, what is it, man? This is really like the red pill,
It is.
Situation. I think we've been red pilled a long time ago, and everybody who kind of like enters this space, it's inescapable, right? It's like you all of a sudden are introduced to this whole new. It's like finding out that like there's a whole Western hemisphere on the planet. It's like, what? There's a whole other fucking place over there. Like you're telling me all we gotta do is like sell our boats and we can explore this land and we can leverage our capitalistic ideals and start forming economies and exploiting resources and mass genocide, all this stuff, right? All these things that happened in like the early colonization time period. Luckily there's no mass genocide required to exploring the metaverse. That would really suck. But the same sentiment, I think, it exists. Like we're all of a sudden we've been introduced to this new reality potential, right? This whole new layer of experience that we didn't really know existed until recently. And like that's the red pill, right? We can't get away from that at this point. Like it's just too captivating. Right?
The milk has been spilt. I remember back in the day, I was reading this article about Second Life, and somebody had bought like a building or something for like $2 million, and like it was the biggest like digital purchase at the time. And I remember thinking about it. I was like, man, that's pretty odd. Like people would spend that much money on like this digital thing. And at the time, there was no blockchain, right? So you just owned it like basically in the database, and that was it. And that database goes down, you've basically lost your item. But I mean, I think we're gamers are like predispositioned to understand like the implications of digital assets, and gaming is probably going to be the biggest application of NFTs for now. But I think ultimately NFTs is going to transition very well to like the DeFi space. So, but yeah, I mean, we're kind of getting like sidetracked there, but
yeah, we're going too deep down this freaking rabbit hole, dude. Yeah. But I mean, it's my first time back. Can you blame me, dude? Like, I've had a lot of pent up like existentialism, like I don't know, just a lot of pent up metaverse juices that I needed to let out.
Yeah, but, I mean,
getting back to the chat, I mean. Can you let's see? There's some verification issues. Are you?
Well, a lot of the verification issues because people don't have a MetaZone account, and so go to MetaZone.io, get an account, and then jump into one of the games in the tower. I don't know why this isn't working. And people love their popes, dude. I don't know if you noticed, man. There's a huge Pope like asphyxiation, or not asphyxiation, but like a level of attraction that is pretty unheard of. And I guess once we do those giveaways based on the Pope, it's going to make a lot more sense why people like it, right?
Yeah, of course. We've always been talking about applying utility to a POAPs, but I mean, it's a good reward mechanism for contributors and ecosystem participants. Like I'm not opposed to it at all. So yeah, guys, just keep trying. I guess if there's like a well-known process to get to verification status, keep following those procedures and just keep trying. I'm not sure what the issue is. Hopefully. Okay, an update is about to be made. So 1 second, guys. Don't feel discouraged. We hear you guys. We're paying attention to all all your outcries for assistance. So yeah, just be patient and we'll get to it.
Yeah, one of the tough parts is with applications and like if you have a Chrome browser and you're interacting with MetaZone and that Chrome browser hasn't been updated in like a couple of years, it's like, yeah, you're going to have some difficulties. And that's sort of like the tough part about like tech is that everybody needs to be pretty much on the same page for things to work. But ultimately, yeah, it's like, we got to keep trying and we got to keep making sure that, we get this bot working properly, but we'll get there.
Yeah, TJ, did everyone's Rovi backgrounds update yet?
Oh, the update occurred on MetaZone, and I don't think it's been pushed to OpenSea yet, just because of the lack of APIs that they have. So we'll figure out like how we can do it manually, but yeah, it's going to be pushed. So
these glow effects that have been kind of applied to a lot of the Rovi assets and stuff, these are actually implemented effects that will work in the metaverse, correct? At least in Decentraland.
Yeah. They'll work in the metaverse for sure.
Yeah, so that's more valuable than anything. I mean, of course, like the portrait perspective of an asset that's on display on OpenSea or any other, web interface is important, right? That's kind of like the main driver for current landscape of NFT like value, like the portrait aspect, the profile picture of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would definitely want to make sure everyone's profile picture is optimally presentable and sexy, whatever you want to call it. But the true utility of these Rovi assets and all MetaZone assets is their actual metaverse applicability, right? Like how they look and feel and function in the metaverse is really what we're focused on, right? So
yeah,
that's a little less obvious whenever you're browsing these assets on OpenSea and stuff like that. But that's kind of like one of the main focuses of MetaZone, right? Is to convey all these features, right? That traditional NFTs do not have. So
I want to point out just an example of the degree of work that creators have in terms of like the digital space and the world that we're in. So for example, we're in Decentraland. Consider that the operating system of the metaverse, right? Of this particular metaverse. And everything that runs on top of this metaverse are little apps. Like this little square thing, consider that an application, right? Obviously, Corona Zombies, another application. And whenever the world updates, which is the operating system updates, the applications sometimes break. We've seen that on computers and laptops and stuff, right? And when that happens in the metaverse, like some of the textures mess up, right? That's why we have like these white looking spiders, and then the animations for these the sushi bats, they don't work, right? And so now the creator has to make an update and make sure that the operating system and the app are compatible again. So there's a lot of maintenance that goes on to this world, and if we think that if we can officially own like the content where you own the code, like then the individual owner has the burden to update that code, and like it's not really sustainable. And of course, there's ways to update the code, like you go to GitHub, copy paste, merge that with your existing code that you have for your deployment, and then you could do it that way. But how often is that going to happen, right? And so we got to come up with like a good platform that allows for creators to maintain the updatability of their code without the landowner or the meta owner doing anything. So that's just a little like insight as to like the work required to maintain like a lot of the stuff that occurs. Because if Decentraland doesn't make updates and remains static, that's not a good sign, right? And the good thing is their Decentraland is breaking stuff, which is a sign of updates.
Yeah. Okay, so we're getting some feedback from some of you guys here in attendance that it's not worth being here because of the complexities of receiving a POAP. So it's interesting, right?
Ooh, that's good. No, that's
to
a
hear
good
that
sign,
feedback.
Dude, that's a good sign because we want to reward people who are here, who are community members, not just trying to collect the Pope.
exactly. So if that's the sentiment you have at the moment, it's kind of, it means the system is kind of working.
Yes, exactly.
So I mean,
so if you're having
it's
difficulty, you can just don't come back next week, and we're gonna do the exact same thing next week.
Yep. So yeah, sorry for the what's the word? The bluntness of that, but
oh yeah, dude, man. If I get another DM about a pope, dude, I'm gonna break my laptop. You know what that means.
Dude, you can't do that. It's like you just got that fucking thing. We've been waiting for that goddamn, what's it called? A MacBook Pro X2000, whatever the fuck you got. I don't know, dude. But we finally got the new.
Like, I've been waiting a decade.
We got Will equipped with like a good rig finally, and we cannot do anything to like induce that much rage to where he destroys it.
Okay, so let me hit up Oscar to see if we can get a list here. Let's see.
Yeah, and we hear you, Volpixie. Yeah, I mean, not everybody. If you're like legitimately here, part of the community, and you want to contribute and participate and support all these cool things, right? And you're having issues, we're working on it. It's just. But if you're not here for that, you're just here to collect the POAP. That away.
Yeah. All right. Let me.
Hey, isn't there a giveaway bot we got to deploy at some point? Just curious.
Yes. So we've been using the MetaZone bot for the giveaway to a certain extent, right? And so what Oscar does, he spits out a list of ETH addresses, and then we just randomly pick that ETH address for the Rovi
okay, more changes. Interesting.
Yeah. So and that's only because the other bot, the giveaway bot, is also gamed, right? And so, right, you have a ton of bots clicking on it, and then, people who we've never heard of win this Rovi, and like, that's the end of it, right? They never do anything with that NFT. So Oscar can give us a list of ETH addresses that have been verified, and then we can just pick one, and that's that.
Cool. Okay. All right. So
just
moving on from that.
Yeah, just waiting for the ETH address.
So how does this process work? Is it going to be like an instant like a pick from the pool? Like it's just instantly you just determines who wins. There's no like actual input required, right?
Yeah, there's no input required. And the reason is because we haven't finished that part of the bot, just because it's not like the highest of priorities. But eventually there's going to be a bot based on the verified ETH addresses, and then we like run a command for that bot, and then it just picks a random ETH address for us. But now we have to do it manual.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, Volpixie, give it a second. Oscar did say it not too long ago. Oscar, aka Core, that he's pushing an update. So most likely it's addressing whatever issues you're encountering.
Okay, yeah, let's wait for Oscar. But yeah, so we have the hologram meta like slated to come. We set the date. Oh, there it is. There's the list. So we set the date to about, was it 2 weeks? Roughly 2 weeks last week. So we got roughly 10 days before the hologram meta is slated to be available. Like I said, this has a big implication on the platform. But once the hologram meta is available, any purchase of the Holo Crew will get that meta free. And right now we have roughly 200 or so available for the transporter. And after that 200 is kind of purchased, then there will no longer be 3 NFTs in one IMAN. After that, it's just going to be just a single Rovi NFT. And whenever you purchase that Rovi Crew NFT, you get an associated meta. So that's kind of the latest change that we made. And yeah, so now with every purchase of a Rovi, you're going to get a meta.
Yeah, I like this. I like this content distribution model, because it rewards, participants, right? If you own a Rovi, you're already part of the ecosystem, right? So But the assumption is not everybody who owns a Rovi owns land, right? It's not possible.
Yeah.
So, but regardless of not, we have platform features that allow you to still leverage the assets that you are allocated to, become deployable and installable on others' land, or you could just, sell them to somebody else who wants to, fixture these assets on their land themselves. So, like, yeah, all the pieces are still aligned to where there should be enough content deployed within the metaverse for this, gameplay to occur.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Juxon doesn't own land, and he's a creator. So
what? Juxon, you don't own land, dude? You know what? I don't blame you. Uh-oh, let me get out of there. Whoops. Yeah, I don't blame you, dude. Land is like, hasn't this price like surged recently?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, mana went up to almost like $5. So like any land is like prohibitively expensive.
He's got mana bags, dude. Good choice, actually. I think historically mana has been a much more valuable commodity, you could say, like from an appreciation standpoint. Didn't mana do like a 300x or something since like COVID?
Yes. Yeah, 300x. Well, almost a 500x since COVID. So that's crazy. And if the previous all-time high of mana was like 23 cents, if it does 100x from there, that's a $23 mana. Like, wouldn't that be wild, dude? 100x from the previous all-time high?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it is wild.
But is it possible? So, I think technically it is possible, but that would be like a $50 billion Decentraland market cap.
Yeah, man. Who's to say we're not on our way there,
30 to 50 billion. Don't quote me on that. But all right, let's so Third Eye, I'm checking your DM. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so Oscar's been working on this big district feature, and the deploying in districts is now possible. It's been possible, but like the district that we're servicing for Ethermon is so huge that the old district feature wasn't like really compatible. So now we can pretty much facilitate any district size, because districts in Decentraland are very specific. They're built in segments, and the segment part is what we had to update. So Third Eye, yeah, let us know, man. We can talk.
Third Eye, you got a district, dude? Chain Gang acquiring a district? Is that what I'm hearing? What's going on? That's pretty crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the whole district conversation, that's a whole other topic, right? Cause just, and it's, I think it's only, it's like a unique scenario. I think only Decentraland has to kind of like worry about as of now, but it's a problem that exists. And yeah, we've made attempts in the past to contribute to that problem, which is what we do. We always try to find problems and find ways to contribute to solve them. So
yeah,
and yeah, it sounds like we have a pretty good solution in the works. So yeah, I'm excited to see how that's leveraged coming up.
All right, guys, we've selected the ETH address. I don't know who this is, but this is the winner of the transporter, which is 3 NFTs. And remember, everyone who holds a Rovi, like the actual bot itself, you get a piece of land, right? One Rovi, so one land per Rovi per address. But don't split your Rovies into like addresses just yet, because we're a long ways from that. But here's the winner. And I don't know who this ETH address is, but there it is. So if you recognize that ETH address, kind of chime in here, and we'll congratulate you.
Oh, it's me, dude. No, I'm just kidding. It's not me. Grats winner. Dude, we need to know who that is, man.
Yeah, who is that?
We're congratulating an enigma.
Yeah. All right. Nobody's claimed this yet. Here. Let's see.
Reroll.
Reroll.
Yeah, you got 10 seconds to announce your winnings, or else we reroll.
Oh, we got a winner. There it is.
Oh, it's Meow Meow.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congrats. All right. All right. So, yeah, that'll be minted to you today, like in the next hour or so. And you just check your wallet and OpenSea, and it should be there. So, yeah, congrats.
Awesome.
Yeah, finally. Cool.
And yeah, you've been a loyal attendee. Even I remember, like, back from I missed a few, but you've been around, so I'm happy to see you win. Happy to see anybody win, but yeah, like, congratulations. You're welcome, Meow.
All right, no worries, Volpixie. We'll figure out your issue, and we'll make sure this doesn't happen again. Okay.
Yeah, we got you. We promise. Don't worry.
All right. Yeah, and I guess if you have any other issues, you can DM me. I was just joking. I get 1 billion DMs anyway, so another 1 billion is not going to hurt, right?
Yeah, well, actually, don't feel threatened that he's gonna, neck his computer. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, definitely not.
If anybody has composure to not neck their rig, it's him, dude. Like, but if I was a DM responsibility, I might have necked everything in my vicinity by now. But luckily, Will has that composure.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Information overload. Sorry about that, dude. Yeah, we'll be back next week, guys.
Yeah. So next week, 6 p.m. UTC. So for those daylight savers, that's 1 hour before our normal time, right? So yeah, let us know if you have any questions or comments. Like we're always like in Discord, and yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. Every week, 6 p.m. UTC. We'll be back on Mondays. Thank you, guys.
Okay, guys. Bye. Peace.